In a world flooded with distractions, where every screen offers a new story and every corner demands our attention, it becomes almost natural to look outward for meaning. We chase images, approval, achievements, hoping they will reflect back something of who we are. We fill our schedules and minds with the noise of doing, rarely pausing to ask why we are doing it all. But what if all this noise is just a dream? A collective trance where we mistake movement for progress and stimulation for fulfillment? Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." And this is not a rejection of the world, but an invitation to explore a deeper one, the inner. Dreaming is not inherently wrong. In fact, dreaming fuels art, ambition, love. But dreaming becomes delusion when it replaces reality. When we seek our identity solely through the eyes of others, we become fragmented, confused, and exhausted. Because the outer world is never still, and if we let it define us, neither will we be. Looking inward, however, is not glamorous. It's quiet, sometimes uncomfortable, often overlooked. Yet it is in this inner silence that something extraordinary happens. We begin to wake up. To awaken is not to become someone new. It is to remember who we've always been beneath the noise, beneath the masks, the roles, the fears. It's to witness the thoughts, emotions, and impulses without becoming them. While the outer world shows us what we could be, the inner world shows us what we already are. And that perhaps is the most radical kind of clarity one can reach. We are taught from a young age to look outward, to compare, to measure, to pursue. The world hands us templates of success, happiness, and self-worth, and so we begin to construct ourselves from the outside in. We wear masks to be liked, to be safe, to belong. But a mask, no matter how beautiful, is still a barrier. It hides, it protects, it performs, but it never reveals. Many live entire lives trapped behind these layers. They achieve the goals society sets. They smile on cue. They gather possessions and titles. And yet, in the quiet moments, they feel hollow. Because they've forgotten to ask, whose dream am I living? Looking within is an act of rebellion, a gentle, silent rebellion against conditioning. It is the moment when we stop asking, what should I become? And start asking, who am I when I stop becoming? In that stillness, we discover that the mind left unchecked is a restless storyteller. It spins futures and regrets, builds fantasies and fears, but none of it is the self. The self is not a thought. It is the space in which thought arises and dissolves. To look within is to meet the parts of ourselves we've ignored, the wounded child, the quiet longing, the buried truth, not to fix them, not to judge, but to listen. Because every part of us is speaking, waiting to be seen. True awakening does not come with fireworks. It comes with a shift, a pause, a breath. And in that breath we realize what we were seeking out there was quietly waiting inside all along. The path inward is not always peaceful. To awaken is not to escape suffering. It is to face it, naked and without illusions. Looking within means entering the shadow, the unconscious, the forgotten, the repressed. It is there we meet our fears, our envy, our anger, our shame, not as enemies, but as messengers. Carl Jung taught that one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. To awaken is to bring light into those hidden chambers of the soul, not by force, but through awareness. We fear this descent because we've been taught that darkness is wrong. But the seed grows in darkness. The night is not the enemy of the dawn, it is its womb. When we look inward with honesty and patience, we begin to notice how often we escape ourselves through distraction, through noise, through the constant pursuit of more. But silence reveals what stimulation hides, and in that silence, the truth speaks. The more we listen, the less we need. We no longer chase validation because we realize our worth was never up for debate. We no longer need to convince or conquer because we are no longer trying to fill a void. The awakened one is not someone who has all the answers. It is someone who has stopped running, someone who can sit with uncertainty, with emotion, with mystery, and still feel whole. Dreams seen from the outside are fragile, but inner awareness, the kind that cannot be named or proven, is unshakable. It does not depend on approval or success. It is the quiet knowing that you are here, you are real, and you are enough. True awakening is not an arrival. It is a return to what we've always been, beneath the masks, beyond the noise. When we stop looking outward for meaning, we begin to feel life from within, not as an idea, not as a role to play, but as a presence that simply is. There is no need to perform, no one to impress, no ladder to climb. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply invited to stop, to breathe, to listen. The world will still shout. It will still tempt and distract. But the one who has tasted inner stillness is no longer fooled. Dreams will come and go. People will come and go. But your inner truth, once seen, will never leave you. Jung once wrote, "Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." This is not a rejection of the world. It is a deeper way of being in it, awake, grounded, whole. To live not from fear, but from presence. Not from lack, but from inner fullness. So let us return, not to what the world expects of us, but to what our soul already knows. The light is not out there. It has always been within.